All right, we're going to do our duck wings now, and we'll start our duck wings with the parts of the wings, the names of the parts, because we'll be talking about these. Pointing to me or up here is the leading edge of the wing. It's the part that's rounded that provides flight, trailing to just feathers. So the front of the bird, the wing tips, this part's attached to the body. The wing tips out here are the primary feathers. So primaries, then we've got the colored patch on the wing on a duck is called the speculum. And then we've got the wing coverts or the upper wing coverts here. So coverts, speculum, primaries, that's what we need to know. And then the leading edge with the body right here and opposite wing on this side. So now that we know those parts, let's move on from there. So there's a few ducks that have color on the coverts. Remember the color patch here is the speculum, and then the feathers above the speculum being here, feathers above the speculum is the coverts. So a big white patch on the coverts is the American widgeon. So that is an American widgeon. White patch on the coverts. Another bird with some color on the coverts. Again, we've got the speculum down here. Above the speculum is the coverts. And this duck has some chestnut or brown color on the coverts and has a white patch in the speculum. This is a gadwall. Again, a color patch on the coverts. You see we've got blue coverts above the speculum. Blue coverts on the speculum is actually one of two different birds. This is either a blue-winged teal or a northern shoveler. So the difference in the two, they're exactly the same except for the size. Blue-winged teal is our smallest duck in Mississippi, and a northern shoveler is a medium-sized duck. So a really small wing compared to an average size wing. Again, blue-winged teal, northern shoveler. Blue on the upper coverts. If we look at these two wings, very similar in size, that's because they're both teal. Again, we had the blue-winged teal. This one has no color on the coverts, just color in the speculum with white, green, blue, whatever. The speculums are iridescent, so the color can change as it moves in light. And a brown patch above. This is the green-winged teal. Green-winged teal, blue-winged teal. Our smallest duck, our second smallest duck. So very small wings compared to our other ducks. All right, if we compare our teal to another medium-sized to large duck, you see that the wing patch, the speculum, is almost the same, but the size is extremely different. Again, this was our green-winged teal, and this larger one is the northern shoveler. Again, white, green, and brown coming up the speculum toward the flight edge. So white, green, brown, white, green, brown, no color on the coverts, or just, normal gray on the coverts. Green-winged teal, northern pintail. move to our only duck here that actually has color out on the primary feathers. If you see, we've got some iridescent blue, violet, or whatever, and then white, not just the drab brown that's the rest of the wing. So this color out on the primaries is our most colorful duck, and that's the wood duck. Now, there's two ducks in Mississippi that we want you to not only know the wing, but we want you to know the sex of the bird from the wing. So wood duck is one of the two that we're going to sex with the wing, and we're going to do that with the speculum and actually the white patch at the bottom of the speculum. And if you see, this white patch is basically straight across compared to this wood duck where the white patch is scalloped and not straight. If you compare those two, you can see the difference in them. Again, we've got color out on the primaries, and the bottom white on the wing, the speculum or the wing patch, is flat or scalloped. And the scalloped is female and the flat is male. So I always remember this myself, as females like to be a little bit more flashy, so that scalloping is the flashy female compared to the straight white patch of the male. All right, the second species that we're going to have you sex is the mallard. This is our biggest duck in Mississippi. No color out on the primaries. Speculum has white, violet, blue, whatever you want to call it, and white. So white, blue, white is the mallard in a large wing. And again, we're going to sex these. So the way this is done, and conveniently, we've got two opposite wings here. So basically, I'm the body if we're orienting these on the duck. So when we have a mallard wing, in order to sex it, we're looking at the body side of the wing, and the top white patch. So this top white patch, if it extends past the speculum, past the color on the speculum, then it is a female. If it stops going toward the body at the speculum and doesn't extend toward the body, then it's a male. So the white extending past the speculum is the female, and I remember that by the female has more color. The male stops at the top of the speculum. So again, female extending past the speculum, male top white stripe stopping with the speculum. All right, last but not least is the black duck. The black duck is mallard size. You will sometimes hear this called a black mallard. That's not the proper name. The proper name is a black duck. Black duck has a all dark wing except for the violet speculum like the mallard. The only thing is it doesn't have the top white stripe, and it should not have a bottom white stripe. Occasionally you'll find a little bit of white like you see here, and that's a little bit of hybridization between the black duck and a mallard. Somewhere in this lineage there was a mallard, and so there's a little bit of white right there. Pure black duck is just going to have the blue speculum, no white whatsoever, but not going to be a top white line even in a hybrid. So black duck compared to the mallard.